Welcome, here we are in episode 3 already. I think there's going to be a lot more episodes to come because we haven't really done all that much so far. We're going to see in a second. Really, we have one building and a house, and we need more. Here we are ready. Our resource storage, freshly built. Get little rabbits around. I mean, hares, not rabbits. And this is our home so far. Near this, well, I'm not sure who was resting here, but clearly someone stayed here before. Maybe they had the same thought that I have, that this is the perfect place to settle down. But for today's episode, here's what I've been thinking. Basically, what I want to do is I want to have a steady production of wood to start with, right? Because no matter what I'm going to build, I'm always going to need logs, I'm always going to need sticks, I'm always going to need, well, eventually I'm going to need planks as well. So this is what I should start with. That means that we need to invest some resources at least into, let's see, let me get out my shovel here, into building the appropriate shed for this. Let me take a look. So I'm thinking that was not, here we go. Let me get out my, oops, my trusty hammer. Where's my hammer? There's my hammer. Now, let me see. So this is the Great Plain. This is where we want to situate our fields eventually. And we don't want to be too far away from the resource storage as well. So I'm thinking somewhere about here would be the perfect place for our first what would we call that? Production building? No, not really. Basically resource gathering, extraction, yeah. Woodshed. And we have everything. Actually, all we need is 8 stone. So this should be fairly easy to do. Now we just need to find a good place. Let's put it in this angle. There you go. Yeah, so now we need stone. Thankfully, it's very bright. Easy to see where the stones are. Even though my character wants to pick up something else. I think I needed 8. How many do I have? 7. Very nice. However, it is not enough to just build this building. If I want to find someone who is going to, you know, chop all this wood for me, I will have to provide them with a home. So no matter how I twist it, I'm going to have to build another house. Done. Great. Now, let me think. We need more wood. I'm thinking this bronze axe I'm going to give to whoever is going to be my lucky first villager. I don't know yet if it's going to be a man or woman. I personally do not discriminate. I only care for them to have the right skills. So if I'm lucky, maybe I can find someone with a specific skill set that is suitable for chopping wood. That would be what we call in-game the extraction skill. That's what we're doing. Extracting resources from nature. Somehow that's what humans always end up doing, isn't it? fix that somehow already. It's fine. Okay, I am not yet over encumbered. Let me grab all these stones. Ah, yes. My old friends, the Wizards, they are still here. And I do not think they are going anywhere anytime soon. Meanwhile, we've already unlocked the next type of building just by picking up rocks. That's how that works. Whenever you do something in the game, you are effectively raising one or several skills. Yeah, that's more than enough stone. I'm actually hungry. Do I have any food on me? I don't. Okay, let me see. I do want to use these berries here. They will be useful. So let's build the house maybe in between here. In this spot. If we can. The big if. Okay. Let me do a different way then. Let me put all the resources into the storage. Hello, Mr. Hare. Sneaking around my resource storage. You know what? I cannot run very fast, but if I was a little bit faster, I would have actually killed that hare. Not because I have anything against the hare personally, it's just for the quest. Put everything away that we do not need to carry with us. Yeah. No, they ran away. Fine. Now, as I was saying, actually, there's a lot of space here. I don't have to go all that far. Let's put it down right here. Okay. It should be easy. Now, the wooden hammer is not going to survive this. That's for sure. That's okay. At least we have... Why does it look like I'm crouching down? I'm not. And then I think once we have this house, in the beginning we're going to have to provide the food and the water ourselves. That is fine. We can do that. And then bit by bit we're going to first of all complete the cycle so that any villager that we add will have also food and water provided for them and firewood. And once that is established, then we have this basic cycle and we can continue to grow the village. Before that, you would have to do everything by yourself. Which is fine, you know, play the game however you want to. My issue is that I also want to explore the map a little bit. After all, I want to show you guys around. And I can only do that when I actually have someone that takes care of the village, meanwhile. I hope that makes sense. We don't have... Why does it say that we don't have logs? Have I really used all the logs already? Wow. But we're not going to eat a horse right now. Horses do not live in the wild here. And therefore we cannot hunt them. And that was my hammer. Okay, let's grab some food. The day is coming to an end. Now you can see why I have chosen to have a season sit there for a while. Because I need the time. In the beginning it's all a little bit tedious. But later on you will see that it will go a lot quicker. Okay, let me see. Sewing, cooking, crafting. What am I going to be doing the most? Cooking, sewing. Well, sewing not for a long while actually. Crafting. I do not intend to craft all that much myself. I think actually cooking is what I will be doing most of the time. Frying meat, that kind of stuff. Because that does two things. If I go hunting in the beginning now myself, as soon as I find a suitable weapon, let's say a bow, then I can bring in all the meat and then feed the people, fry the meat, get more skill points. And, well, you see where I'm going with this, right? Okie dokie. So now... I think we're still safe here. Probably. I am pretty sure that eventually, just from building close to them, the wizened spawn is basically going to disappear. But... oh, I need sticks for this. I didn't even know that. That only happens when you have a building close enough to that spawn. And then you carry over to the next season, I think. I think that's how it works. In terms of game logic. Do we have enough sticks now? Yes. I didn't mean to punch the tree. The reality of it is that in the beginning, chopping down tree after tree is not exactly super interesting. I know that. Why was it not? Could have been automatically equipped, but okay. Oh, by the way, I have a new hat. Fashionable, I think. Well, we've completed 2 buildings. That was a productive day. That was a deer, right? Surely that was a deer. Yeah. Anyway, we need straw. There is straw growing on the other side of the lake. And on this side as well. However, there's not just straw on that side of the lake. But what choice do I have? I need the straw. This is what I have to do. Okay, drink some water. Just to be brave. And then we're just gonna go. We're gonna stay in the water. And if the wizard are deciding that I am a threat, then... well, then I guess I am. Hey, I don't want to... no, not water. "17 straw. That is not enough. We need more. Time to be a little sneaky. They will never know I'm here. Of course, the reality is they do know that I'm here. Because they have eyes and ears everywhere. Should not be jumping like this. Alright. I think we made it somehow. This is the river where they are. On the other side, somewhere there. But for some reason, maybe they went to sleep already. I'm not sure. I can clearly see that there's more... ah, there you go. Got it. How they were not triggered, I do not know. Maybe they are more peaceful than I thought. Now, night is setting in, and we are about to complete our second building. I know, this is very exciting gameplay. It will become more interesting. Don't you worry. It says I have 7 straw in the resource storage. So you can see... Oh, I needed 1 more log. Wasn't there another stump nearby? Yes. Done. No, I forgot the inside. Alright, I need 2 more. The birch tree must go. There are some glowing insects in the dark. Can you see that? Looks quite nice. It's also a little bit scary because you don't really know what is there in the dark, and there could be anything. Wolves, screaming deer, even though they will not attack you, but at night everything is a little more scary. Where's my hammer? There you go. Where's the entrance? Yeah. Okay, we're done here. I do not see where I'm going. And now it's time to rest. But before we rest, let's eat some more food. I'm actually running out of food myself. So this is the thing, right? If I consume all the food myself, I will not have anything left for any villager that I'm inviting. And then the need to go hunting increases. So today is going to be a very busy day. We're going to have to find something. Let's see. Did I dump the firewood in my own chest? I have. That is bad. So what do we need? We have dried meat. That will keep ourselves and the villager alive for maybe 3 more days. And then we absolutely have to get some meat in. Otherwise, that's it. We also need water. Now, in order to provide water to them, we have 2 choices. Either we give them a bucket with water. Can you imagine drinking from a bucket all the time? I mean, I'm sure you had some kind of wooden cup, or maybe if you were fancy, you had it made of, what's the word? I can't think of the word. The natural material that grows on the ground. You can shape. I can't think of the word right now, but you know what I mean. And you could make a cup out of this, but still you had to transport the water, and for that you were using a bucket. Who knows what jumps into that bucket? Can you imagine? No bottles wasn't a thing. I mean, maybe it was a thing, but it was fancy. We're not fancy. We are just normal farming peasants. All right. Let's go find ourselves a villager. First stop, I think, is going to be Denitsa. Now, Denitsa does not have, as far as I know, they do not have a hunter. Therefore, they do not have a bow for sale. In fact, there's probably not even anyone in that village that knows how to make a bow. So the other choices that we have are we can get lucky and look around, and maybe we find some dropped over cart again on the side of the road, or we find some other kind of storage that someone else left behind. And then you will find random things in there. You will find maybe some food, some drink that you can sell. By the way, this is something interesting, I think. All your villagers are completely abstinent. They do not drink alcohol. I think later on you can build a tavern for them, but even then, they're not going to... oh, sorry, you look like you have something to say. Godzimira.
I believe we haven't met before.
Is your voice struggling? Can I help you with something? Help you with an errand? Maybe. What is it about? I pledged to create some pans for local folk, but I ran out of materials. I will reward you. Well, that is a problem because I have nothing to give you anything. No wool, no leather, no fur. Well, fur maybe. If this is only about fur, then maybe. I will give it a try. What does she need? 6 leather. That's not impossible to do. And 75 coin is definitely better than nothing, so that's okay. Now, here are 3 villages. They're all women, okay. Fine. In the old days, you actually had to talk to them.
Hello there.
Hello, Berta. Very nice. So you would have a small talk with them, and then you would directly ask them without any further ado, could you tell me something about your skills? I fancy simple, hard work, since it gets my blood flowing and my muscles pumping. I can even work with my bare hands if needed. Now that sounds like she would be good at any kind of extraction work, because that is obviously manual labor. Always. But then, kind of everything is manual labor in that sense, but extraction surely is more demanding on the physical side. But what you can also do,
Good luck.
I don't know when this was implemented, you can use your special view, and this is of course kind of cheating, but you can then see what kind of skills she exactly has. Now, Berta here, contrary to Ludwika, has a pretty good extraction skill, so I think she is perfectly suitable to be our first villager.
I saw stranger things.
Stranger Things? Is that a reference?
Oh, it's you again.
It's me again, yeah, I think she likes me.
We'll work for
Reputation...
water
Good luck.
and some firewood. And a roof over my head, of course. Damn. Am I too demanding?
No, it's fine, but... Wait, we need more reputation? Oh... Right. I forgot about that, to be honest. Okay, change of plans. So we need to... Well, what we can do is we can go back to Gastovia and then talk to the Castellan's wife, Dobroniga. And then she is going to feed us, which is nice. And for talking to her, we will probably also get some Dynasty points. And if you're wondering what I'm looking for, I'm not quite sure myself. I'm just looking. Okay, let's get going, I guess. The days are short, and we need to get to Gastovia. We take this route, which is I think the one that leads us to the river. And then we cross the river and then we run back to Gastovia. Now, luckily, I know my way around here by now, but knowing your way does not really save you from the threats that are looming in the forest, such as wolves, which are just across that river on the other side. Sometimes you can see them standing around, waiting for me to come by, to hunt me down. Scary. The moose, surprisingly, are actually fairly tame. They will not attack you unless you get too close to them. And I think even then, it's only the males that will actually hunt you down. But then they are quite as scary, just like the Wizards. Get going. Actually, you know what? Let me pause here for a second. And then try this. Okay, so I have prepared a website. Oh, website that wants to show me ads. A website with actual Slavic stories. This one is called Onivak. Let's see what it's about, and let's see if we can read it while we are running to or walking to Gastovia. Calmly and hopefully uninterrupted. A certain king had a beautiful garden which contained a number of very rare trees. But the most rare of all was an apple tree. It stood in the middle of the garden and produced one golden apple every day. In the morning, the blossom unfolded. During the day, you might watch the fruit grow. And before nightfall, the apple was fully ripe. The next day, the same thing occurred. Indeed, it happened regularly, every 24 hours. Nevertheless, no ripe fruit ever remained on the tree on the following day. The apple disappeared. No one knew how or when, and this deeply grieved the king. At last he could bear it no longer, and calling his eldest son to him, he said, "My child, I wish you to keep watch in the garden tonight, and see if you can find out what becomes of my golden apples. I will reward you with the choice of all my treasures, if you should be lucky enough to get hold of the thief and bring him to me. I would gladly give you half of my kingdom." Now the young prince girded his trusty sword to his side, and with his crossbow on his shoulder and a good stock of well-tempered arrows, went into the garden to mount guard. And as he sat under the apple tree, a great drowsiness became over him, which he could not resist. His arms dropped, his eyes closed, and stretching himself on the grass, he slept as soundly as if he had been in his own bed at home. Nor did he wake until dawn, and then he saw that the apple had disappeared. When questioned by his father, he said that no thieves had come, but that the apple had vanished all the same. The king shook his head, for he did not believe a word of it. Then, turning to his second son, he bade him keep watch, and promised him a handsome reward if he should catch the thief. Now, that made time fly by, didn't it? Fly by, whatever, both. And so we're back in Gastovia, and now we are looking for the Castellan's wife, which apparently is in their house. Hello. May I go inside?
Hello, son.
He acts like he has never seen me before. Okay, I thought he knew me. Zabroniega. You're just standing here. I'm just gonna follow you. You don't mind, do you? I think she's going to maybe her tavern. Yes. Okay. That will allow me to show you what a tavern is looking like. This is a building that we will be able to build ourselves, but many episodes from now, I'm guessing. Yes, and there she goes. So typical place for people to sit and do nothing, sitting there hunched over the table. And here we are. Hi, you're Dobroniga, right? Nice to meet you. I'm Racimir. Ah, that's right. Nice to meet you too, Racimir. What brings you to me? Hunger, thirst, and Unigost. Sounds like a true trinity of misfortune. Wow. Way to diss her own husband. Hunger and thirst I can easily fix, but my husband's doings might not be as effortless to revoke. What has he done now? Would you believe that he dared to welcome me, a total stranger, as one of his own? Even offered guidance and nourishment. Ha, that maniac. Ha, I like you already. Here, grab the best food this lousy joint can offer, and tell me your story. Well, there's nothing much to say, really. I've just arrived at the valley, looking for my uncle Jordan. Didn't expect to be done searching so quickly, to be honest. Oh yes, he was Unigost's friend. I remember now hearing that he had eyes just like yours. I am sorry for your loss. That's okay, I don't remember him, really. Most that I know about him is from my mother's stories. She always looked up to her big brother. Loved him furiously, even when he stopped visiting. A lot of people died from what I heard. Well, what's the difference? There was something special about him. Yeah. Tough shoes to fill, huh? The only shoes that you need to worry about filling are your own. Every man is the architect of his own fortune. Thank you for saying that. It's what I needed to hear. But let's not talk about me anymore. What's your story? I was a part of a traveling band of troubadours. I've never managed to learn how to play any instrument, but I was pretty decent with my singing. Our travels brought us to the valley, not long after the death of your uncle. I still remember seeing Unigost for the first time. He had so much sadness in his eyes. Jordan wasn't just a friend of his, he was a part of him. The band left a few days later. I stayed. There was something in Unigost's presence that I simply knew my place was by his side. You probably noticed the age difference. No, not really. What? Are you implying that I look old? No, nothing of that sort. Anyway, so it looks like you were anchored here by love. That's pretty amazing. Yeah, you could call it that. Or blindness or stupidity. Poor judgment, maybe. Whatever sounds best to you. Pretend all you like. You fell hard for the grandpa with sad eyes, and you know it. I did. He annoys me sometimes like nobody else. Yet I can't imagine breathing without him now. But don't let me go all soft on you. You surely got some places to go. It was a pleasure talking to you, Dobroniga. Every second of it. Yeah, I know it's not much, but it will come in handy when starting a new life. Everything costs coin these days. I really appreciate that, but I'm not looking for a charity. I'll manage. Oh, come on, don't try to be a hero. Ah, man. Alright, do something for me then. It won't be a handout, just your first pay. Okay, fine. What do you need? There's a farmer in the village. She's called Jaronieva. Wait. Jarobnieva. Probably. She usually supplies the tavern with rye, but I haven't got anything from her in a while. My stock is almost gone. And you don't even want to imagine what would happen to these people when we run out of beer. Consider it done. While we're speaking of beer, Unigos asked me to grab a couple for us. Of course, here you go. Great, thank you. He promised to tell me some stories about Jordan. Oh, I see. Well, in that case... Ah, thank you. Did she give me more beer now? Okay, so that gave us 10 reputation. So to explain that a little bit, here the Dynasty Reputation tab is where we can see how much reputation we have. Now, the woman that we tried to recruit for our village said that, well, she didn't say that, but the game said that we need 100. That's not a lot in the bigger scheme of things, but for now, that is almost an impossible number. So we are going to first deliver the here, I think. Wait, is Unigost also hanging out in the tavern? Oh yeah, he is. Lucky for us. Hey Unigost, looking at the proud house owner from the valley. And I'm bringing back beers. Now he recognizes me, nice. Racimir. A job well done indeed. Alright, let me wet my throat with this amber goodness and start reminiscing. I knew Jordan for 22 years before he died. He was my best and truest friend. A brother, actually. I remember the day we met as if it was yesterday. I was 25 at the time, living in the big city of Jellenberg when I was born. You could say I hated that place, but still it was the only home I ever knew. Maybe someday I'll tell you more about that. Anyway, I was forced to take care of my own, so I did. Doing the only thing I could do. Stealing. You were a thief? I was. And a bloody good one, if I might say. Picking pockets was my bread and butter. I could steal a piece of steak right from your fork, and you wouldn't even notice. It wasn't greed that motivated me, just survival. But I'd be lying if I said that I didn't enjoy the process. Stealing is still a crime, no matter the motivation. I'd say you'll wait and hear a bit more before getting all high and mighty on me. I'm sorry, go on. We had an annual festival at Jellenberg. It always brought a whole bunch of outsiders of town. You can imagine what that meant for a man in my profession. I could do a day's worth of work in a matter of minutes. I grabbed a few coins here and there, some jewelry, a pair of new boots. And then I saw a nobleman with a money bag strapped to his belt. It was basically begging to be set free. I sneaked behind him in the crowd, like I did 1,000 times before. Child's play. I gently grabbed the pouch, did a little shimmy magic, and there it was, sitting neatly in my palm. Just needed to turn around and disappear like always. And then, wham! What happened? I was punched in the face by what felt like a bull, and I was so shocked I didn't even realize what happened until I hit the ground. My head was pounding. I could barely see straight. And do you know what was the first thing I saw next? Another blow coming? Ha! No. A smile. A big, radiant smile on the face of the man with two different eyes. It was your Uncle Jordan, the one I took for a nobleman. He stuck out his hand, helped me to get up, and offered me a beer. Ha! Just like that? Just like that. I don't get it. That's just how Jordan was. You see, your uncle was deadly clever. Smartest man I've ever known, hands down. He could see the world like nobody else. Predict things. He was always at least a dozen steps ahead of anyone else. So, on a rare occasion that somebody surprised him, he was intrigued. And he wasn't expecting you. Indeed. Apparently, even despite my failure, I was still on the one that came the closest to robbing him. And he liked that. So I'm guessing you accepted his invitation, right? I didn't really have a choice, did I? I was terrified of the guy at that moment. So we went. He took me to the most expensive and most crowded tavern in the whole town. Remember, it was the day of the festival. Even entering that place was next to impossible. He didn't seem to care though. In a matter of seconds, we were sitting at the table being serviced by two barmaids at the same time. It was surreal, In my mind, there was only one explanation. He owned the place. And did he? Not at all. It was his first time in Yellenberg. It all felt like a dream, to be honest. Especially with me being dazed after the punch. I was still sure he was a nobleman. His manners, his clothes, the way he talked and moved. And then he chucked a beer like it was a race. Wiped the face with his sleeve and burped like a drum. He went from the lord to the savage like that. I relived that moment a dozen times until I realized why he did that. It wasn't a mistake, oh no. No laziness, no moment of weakness. He wanted me to see it, to understand it. Understand what? That he was full of crap. Ha! You see, Racimir, your uncle was one of a kind. He was a true master of arms. And his weapon of choice was his confidence. What does that even mean? Imagine a closed door with 2 armed guards at the sides. And you want what's inside. What are your options? You can force yourself in, bribe the guards, try to pick a lock. But Jordan, he just holds his head up high, walks right and demands the door to be open. You were right, that all quite sounds surreal. I never knew that about my uncle. My mother's stories were quite different. Because I'm afraid she knew quite different Jordan than me, than everybody in the pack. Wait, the pack? Oh dear Racimir, there's so much more you still don't know. Our story hasn't even really begun, but it's getting late. Come on, you can't just leave me hanging like that. What? I'm sorry, I'm standing here. I'm not gonna move. Even if I wanted to, I have to continue. So I guess... Okay, he gave up. Alright, I'm gonna tell you a bit more. After that beer we had a couple more. Then some meat, if I remember correctly. We were talking about our past, our dreams, convictions. Started making some drunk and absurd plans. I thought we were joking, to be honest. The next thing I remember is waking up in silk sheets. I'm guessing they weren't yours, correct? Are you kidding? It was the first time I even touched fabric like that. The ceiling in the chamber was so high, it could fit a giant. I thought I was dreaming. Then the servants walked in. I was ready to flee. But instead of fighting me, they presented me with breakfast? Really? How come? It was all Jordan's doing. I've never found out how he managed to pull it off. Whenever I asked, he just burst into laughter. Even years after. Needless to say, I left Jellenberg with him on that day. First time I went outside of the town's walls and never came back. That was the day the pack was born. And 3 years later there were 5 of us. A real team, a family. We called ourselves the Reminders. Oh, how I wish I could be there. It all sounds incredible. I've never had any adventures like that. And probably never will. Easy, my boy. It wasn't always fun and lovely, but it's a tale for another time. It really did get late, and I'm sure you still have a lot of work to do. Come and find me tomorrow, we'll talk some more. I'll do that. Thank you, Unighost, for everything. That guy was walking into me the whole time. Thanks. Right, so now we gained another 10 reputation. Amazing. Now we can either starve until the next day, because we don't really have any food on us. Actually, we do have food on us. Amazing food. She gave us a whole vegetable soup. But I do not think we have anywhere to sleep in. Is there storage? And I believe this is Unigos's house. And I do not think I can use any of these beds, no. Because they are not mine. People are going to bed. Oh wait, you have a quest for me. Alvin. Hi, my name is Racimir. What can I do for you? I'm Alvin. I don't recognize you. Are you new here? Yeah, I came from the south. I'm looking for a new place for myself where I can start a new life. Good luck to you then. As for me, I'm a farmer. My job is to cultivate fields. In fact, I do the same work every day, year by year. Doesn't it get boring over time? If I were you, I would die of monotony. Of course it bores me. How long can you do the same thing in your life over and over again? But my family needs my help, and I am doing my best to provide for them. I didn't mean to offend you, I'm sorry. There's no need for you to apologize. I'm a little bit annoyed and short-tempered recently. There is a delicate matter that won't let me focus on my work. What's that, Alvin? Maybe I could be of some aid. It may seem petty, but I'm really tired of my mother's conflict with Yaroslav. Her son Dalibor won't leave my little sister Olga alone. I understand it's just a game for him. After all, when I was his age, I played with Dobromira, his older sister. I pretended to be a knight, equipped with a stick of a sword, but anyway, I managed to protect her honor. Like every knight does. It's adorable this way. Anyway, let's get down to earth. I think he needs something to keep him busy and away from my sister. So that you could work with a clear mind again, huh? It would be nice indeed. I'll see what I can do. Does that mean I'm gonna have to give a stick to someone? Dalibor. I'm guessing that's gonna be a kid that's probably asleep already. Let's see if we can wake him up. Lives in this house, I guess. I mean, in these instances, to be fair, right? I mean, you can say, oh, why don't we play without the HUD and everything, but how would I ever find this kid if I didn't know? There you are. Hello, good morning. You are Dalibor, right? You look very strong for your age. Have you ever thought of becoming a knight? It's my dream! Are you a knight? No, but I know quite a lot about them. Did you know that many of them started learning to fight with a wooden sword already at your age? Where could I get such a sword, not a knight? It just so happens that I have one with me. And I can give it to you because you are clearly worthy. I am honored. It may look inconspicuous, but it is certainly an excellent practice weapon for an inspiring knight like you. It looks a bit like a regular stick to surprise your opponents. And do you know what else knights do besides fighting battles? They ride horses. That too. But most of all, they protect the ladies and children from danger and make sure that no harm is done to them. Really? It sounds like a lot of work. Yes, this is the most important principle of chivalry. Alright. Thank you for the sword, not a knight. Now I'm going to defend those in need. You are welcome, young master. You're welcome. And back to sleep he goes. And his parents did not even bat an eye. Jaronigieva and Sobimir, the guy that handles the cows apparently. Good more. Oh my god. He's a zombie. Alright. Hello, Jaronigieva. I've been sent by Dabroniga. What for? I've heard that you are the one that supplies rye to the tavern, is that right? So? I'm sorry, is it not a good moment? Forgive me, I didn't mean to be rude. I'm just dealing with some personal issue. Is everything alright? I don't want to bother you with my problems. You're not bothering at all. I'm eager to listen if you'd like that. Well, a long time ago I've made a major mistake. And the consequences of that decision are troubling me now. What mistake? Marrying an idiot. I understand. Believe me, you don't. How exactly does this doubtful intellectual prowess trouble you? Last night he was supposed to sell one of our cows in the market. I told him specifically the price he should sell it for. We need the coins now more than ever. And can you guess what he comes back home with? Nothing? A handful of seeds that someone told him were magical. Magic seeds, can you imagine? Moron. Was there anything extraordinary about the seeds? They weren't even seeds. It was just a bunch of rabbit droppings. I'm gonna lose my mind because of that man, I swear. I would love to say something uplifting right now, but damn, he really does sound foolish. Can I do something to help? Thank you. That's what I needed to hear. There's nothing you can do, sweetie, but I appreciate the offer. Letting me vent a little was more than enough already. My pleasure then. Could you tell me more about that rye situation now? Unfortunately, we won't be able to provide rye this time. The crops are all diseased and pretty much unusable. As if I didn't have enough problems already. But don't worry. I ordered a delivery of rye from Ralnica. It should have been here yesterday, actually. Don't know what happened. Nadar is usually very prompt. Maybe you could go see him and check if everything is alright. Well, that's what I'm going to do then. Take care. Gained another 10 reputation. Is that? No, that's Zuli's love. Yeah, so these guys walk around at night with the torches, looking for, well, I'm not sure, animals, I guess. I mean, they don't have any weapons, so if someone came at night into these very much open gates, then they could do whatever they wanted with a weapon. Who's gonna stop them? Well, hopefully one day that will be me. The guy with a weapon. That day is not today. Anyway, let's wake up Alvin. Hello. I've solved your trouble with Dalibor. Yes, I saw him running around the village. No, you didn't. He's in bed. He's asleep. You must have an amazing gift of persuasion. This young one does not listen to anyone. You gave me the idea with that stick and the story about a knight. By the way, I got this bread from Dobromira as an apology for a brother's behavior. But I think you've earned it. Here, take it. Thank you. No problem. It's the most refined bread you've eaten. Our Castellan's wife makes them in our local tavern. Oh, do you happen to know the man in charge? You Unigost as well? No, not really. I spend most of the time on the field and our paths only cross when it's time to pay some taxes. Alright. Very insightful. And I've gotten another 10 reputation. So now we're at 50. 80. Well, that's great. We can almost afford our first villager. Almost. And we've been given some flatbread also. We can eat that. And we have some oat ale left, which we can sell. So we have 100 coins. And some ale to sell. That's not bad. Let's see, how deep into the episode are we? We are about an hour in. So maybe we are going to cut it here. I mean, there was a lot of story inserted about Jordan and Unigost and Alvin and yeah. So we almost managed to get our first villager. And now we are going to have to run a few more errands. Maybe also hunt a wild animal. Actually, probably if we manage to hunt a wild animal, then we would be able to easily kill and gain those reputation points. I mean, I could certainly try and craft a lot of wooden sticks, but honestly, throwing them is a pain. I seem to recall that in this village on the other side, there actually is a hunter. And so there might be a chance of buying a bow. But then even if we buy a bow, we still don't have any arrows. That's gonna be a problem. Yeah, this is gonna be a little bit challenging. But that's just how the beginning of the game is. I mean, it's not an easy start, but once you are actually getting into it, then it will get easier. Oh, hello. They don't care. Actually, quite a nice village here. Okay, let's just wait here. And then we will continue in this very village. Whatever it is called. I don't remember seeing a sign. Was there? There's a sign here. This is Borovo. Borava. Borova. Who knows how it's pronounced? This is where we conclude the episode, I think then. And in the next episode we will try to finally secure our first villager and kill the first wild animal. Because not only do we need the animal, we also need leather. So I'm tempted to even take it up with one of the boars. That is probably a bad idea, but maybe that's what we should do. I will think about it. Until then, thank you for watching. And with this beautiful image, we will conclude episode 3.